All right, good morning, everybody. Thanks so much for being with us here on Atlanta News First Plus. I'm Joy Lim-Nakron here with Brooks Baptiste. And Brooks, you know, this is our segment called In Case You Missed It. We've been talking about all things related to Hurricane Milton, but you may have missed this part of it.
Yeah, good morning to you. So, by the way, obviously, Joy, I think it's safe to say thoughts and prayers with all of those in Florida who have been impacted by this awful storm. Some people fortunate enough to dodge a bullet, but Atlanta native Usher has decided that he was going to postpone his shows because of Hurricane Milton and, of course, the impact that it is having there on the state and in the Miami area, the Tampa area, all of those spots there. So, just a heads up, earlier this week, he did announce on social media that he rescheduled his 3-night tour stop in Miami. He was supposed to take the stage as a part of his past, present, future tour, but now folks are going to have to wait until December. So in a post on Instagram, he did write, Florida, stay safe. I will see you soon. So I'm sure that's just one of many things that had to be postponed and rescheduled because of this storm that has caused so much devastation in the Florida area and whatnot. Also, Joy, something that is so interesting to me, and I don't know, this study might actually gross you out just a little bit, so I'll try my best not to do it, but I'm just reporting the facts, okay? So there's a new study out there that identifies more than 600, you heard me right, 600 different viruses living on shower heads and toothbrushes.
Oh.
Take a moment just to let that sink in on your toothbrush. That's the thing that's supposed to clean your mouth, and it might be dirty too. Well, many of the microbes on toothbrushes come from a mixture of the human mouth and the surrounding environment. And regarding shower heads, many of these microbes originate from water sources, but these viruses are not the kind that make you sick. Okay, so there's some better news in this study. The vast majority of them are called bacteriophages, and they're the natural enemy of bacteria, according to this study. Each one has evolved to hunt, attack, and eat a specific bacterial species. Phages are currently in clinical trials with hopes to create new drugs to treat antibiotic-resistant bacteria. Okay, so bottom line, I hope I didn't lose you in all of that, but look, okay. It's
The phages, are they on the shower head or are they on your toothbrush?
It looks like it's on both.
Okay, so that's good, right?
Yeah, it's better than the real true bacteria that's actually hurting and harming us.
I guess it's like what they said, ignorance is bliss sometimes.
Well, it is. And sometimes that's the best thing we could do for us. Just keep doing what you're doing and boil the toothbrushes and change them out from time to time.
Well, yeah,
we're supposed to do that anyway,
that's
though.
for sure. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Brooks. That was a good reminder. I think I'm going to change my toothbrush today.
Yeah, it's probably time. Uh-huh.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so
Thanks,
much,
Joy.
Brooks Baptiste, with that. You know, we've been talking so much about Hurricane Milton, and some of the young hurricane evacuees that we know, they've been making their way up to Georgia to seek refuge. And a lot of them are actually making the most of their time here. As you can see right here, Atlanta News First Josh Skinner visited the Michael C. Carlos Dance Center in Atlanta, where he learned that help has many movements.
Amidst all the people evacuating to Atlanta to avoid Hurricane Milton,
if you choose to stay in one of those evacuation areas, you're going to die.
Perhaps the most unexpected sound of refuge is this. Serena Chu is a faculty member with the Atlanta Ballet Centre for Dance Education on Marietta Boulevard.
This morning, I think we were at least double that amount, if not almost triple, I would say.
They're helping their counterparts from Florida pirouette during Hurricane Milton. The Harid Conservatory called the Atlanta Ballet earlier this week, asking for help. And these dancers from Boca Raton won't miss a step.
They don't have to think about, the outside while they're in the studio. They can just focus on their day-to-day routines that they practice every day.
That's important for a profession that requires 6 hours of training per day, 6 days a week.
Everyday practice is really important to be consistent.
And for kids 14 to 18, whose minds and hearts are hundreds of miles to the south.
We were more than welcome to have them here with us.
The training here could last as little as a couple of days or a couple of weeks. It's not home, but it is on point for the careers these dancers know can't be washed away.
We have an open door policy.
At the Michael C. Carlos Dance Center, Joshua Skinner, Atlanta News First.
Thanks so much to Josh for that report. You know, dozens have been arrested, multiple cars and guns have been confiscated as several local agencies are working to crack down on illegal street racing. Yasmina Alston has more.
Well, we see that they're having handguns pointed at our citizens. That's why you're seeing that level of response.
Gunshots, speeding cars, and large crowds blocking busy streets. These body and dash cam videos from Atlanta police show you what their Operation Burnout looks like. 39 arrests, 19 cars, and 6 guns confiscated during illegal street racing events on September 29th. Some of the suspects, juveniles, one only 16 years old.
When you see the actual type of weapons that they're having out here on the street racing, you see how this quickly leads to escalating violence.
While officials say the number of these events has decreased, their intensity has not, making even one way too dangerous. According to police, over 40% of those participating in the illegal events have firearms. Some of the cars clocked at over 100 miles per hour.
Whether you're behind the wheel of a car, or you're behind the keyboard, or you're holding the phone filming the event, if you've broken the law, we're going to get an arrest warrant, we're going to come and find you, we're going to put you in jail.
Jurisdiction?
No, we're not.
The arrests even impacting those organizing the events. This is Richard Burnett, who was charged with promoting and organizing street racing.
His crime was being behind the keyboard, making Atlanta less safe.
Atlanta Police Chief Darren Shearbaum says these operations are to keep everyone safe.
Call 911. We should already be on the way. In fact, we should already know that they're there. So just give us a few minutes, we're going to open that street up. If you have another route, take another route, because you see with firearms so prevalent, it is a dangerous intersection.
Yasmina Alston, Atlanta News First.
And, you know, the Atlanta Pride Parade and Festival takes place this weekend to create a space of acceptance for so many members of the LGBTQ plus community, which is also the mission of the Atlanta Freedom Band. Atlanta News First Sawyer Bussey tells us why they were named one of this year's Grand Marshals.
To be up in the parade, marching down the street, experiencing that emotion is an incredible thing.
Members are a diverse group, but the Atlanta Pride Parade was the starting point for the Atlanta Freedom Bands, the first chapter.
The band started with just the marching band in the Pride Parade, and since then we've grown to have 4 different musical ensembles and over 100 people involved in the organization. People who represent all walks of life, all types of careers, ages, gender.
The band's founder, Walter Buzz Carr, came up with the idea to create the Atlanta Freedom Bands in 1993 after finding the city's parade had no marching band. The band marched for the first time in 1994.
When they were just learning the basics of how to march in step, left, right, left, right. To today, when we're doing a wide variety of music, a large number of people and the visuals from the color guard.
Cliff Norris joined in 1996.
You know, we welcome people of all different musical levels, and we help people rekindle their love of music. Pride is probably the biggest thing that I feel. It is really an honor to represent our community in music.
He has seen the band grow and evolve over the years. Every step taken, every note played is an acknowledgement of the many resilient people who paved the way for the parade to be what it is today.
It always brings tears to my eyes at some point along the route.
In Atlanta, Sawyer Bussey, Atlanta News First.
And as we head into Pride Weekend in Atlanta, we also want to focus on family in the LGBTQ plus community, whether it's biological or chosen. And for same-sex couples, the journey to create a family can take several different paths. Our own Blair Miller shared his story with Atlanta News First anchor Tracy Hutchins.
Good morning.
Who's a sleepy boy?
A little too spiky.
Happy Friday.
A familiar routine for any parent.
You have to wake up, honey.
Up early.
We need to go. Cash, you want a juice box?
Trying not to run late.
Ooh!
Just hurry it up, okay, so we can grab a donut.
Getting 3 kids out the door.
Jay, we gotta go.
Oh boy.
Come on. Cash, you gotta save me a spot in there.
But making it to this point didn't follow the same familiar path as most families of 5.
Did you ever think you would be parents?
For me, I think I always knew like that was a goal. And I was gonna let nothing stand in the way of me being a dad.
I always was the one who said, we can't have kids. How would we possibly have kids? What would that look like? And it was more me being hung up with being on TV and trying, how do you live that life but also have a family at the same time?
The unbelievable money trail.
You watched him cover the news for Atlanta News First.
Oh, excuse me, Smarty.
What you haven't seen is Blair Miller before he gets to work. Co-parenting with his husband, Jonathan.
Dad is on fire this morning.
They're 3 boys, now part of the same family, but each with their own adoption story.
If you ask me, did I think we would be raising 3 boys today? Absolutely not. I didn't think that's how it was in the cards for us, but I'm so glad it is.
For Jonathan and Blair, their adoption journeys took several different paths, never knowing where they'd lead.
I always say to people, go through the door. Just go through the door, the rest will happen. If you really want that, that's what will happen.
There's so many kids out there, right? There is a need. And if that's something that someone wants to do, they should absolutely do it.
Tracy Hutchins, Atlanta News First.
Thanks so much to Blair for sharing his story, such an inspiring story. And we want to remind everyone that we're highlighting other grand marshals and other significant figures in the LGBTQ plus community, as well as the history of Atlanta Pride in our half-hour special this Friday night at 7:30 p.m. on Atlanta News First. And if you can't attend this year's Atlanta Pride Parade, you can watch our live coverage on Peachtree TV this Sunday, October 13th from 12 to 4 p.m. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great day.